They get moto control with 40 seconds remaining, deals with the barbed wire, and the plan to go down inside of Arsenal now as well. Souls trying to get that down on the ground. There is one of those nitro cells from Ambi, and a second as well, followed up from Canadian, and that stall out defense from Shopify will pay dividends. Faze wanted to get moving at around that 40-second mark, tried to force the action, but hadn't cleared out the site, had found no kills and still have not. And Handy on the blitz, not going to be able to accomplish much from here. You should imagine from here, Shopify will get on the board.
Yeah, I mean, 10 seconds, both of them on half health. They do get a nice take onto the first, but it's actually instantly traded, and a couple of shots that may as well not exist. Two players, Shopify Rebellion, stacked up and ready to rock and roll. Who's going to be the first catch? There's the spray down onto one. The Revenge is going to start bleeding its way around, but no, somehow Grixer in the back of our mind gets one, and Ambi with the ITA follows suit.
Wow, there's definitely one that in this round needs to be impactful as Cyber losing his life to Surf. There he is, Rexon watching. But there was one that eventually did push through from Garage, got the kill onto him, but it was immediately traded by Canadian, who was expecting that flank to come through, and Shopify Rebel hasn't got the kit. I mean, this is absolutely beautifully well-played Siege. Fall back, don't peek, don't give him ones, don't let him have any kind of chance in this round.
I mean, there's the end of it, but back, and you know, this is all just hot intel.
If it's a solo Monty, which he knows now, yeah, he has a go, but he wished it a little bit to the left. But I think Canadian's thought process is solo Monty, no one playing behind, I can get that out. But now that second player is here. Handy, though, finding a double kill in towards the site. And in the end, it's 3 from Vidaking as it's a 5-on-1 phase. Absolutely clean up on site. This is something we haven't seen in this match so far. The fourth...
Just
no, I know, but then why is
through.
Shopify playing cash? Why are they trying to just triple down onto cash position? You can fall back and play site. Jacuzzi's pretty much locked down. Ambi with another big pick. Oh, Grixer had to get that one. Not because it was easy, but because they absolutely...
Fault plant. What do they have to stop it here?
I mean, a little bit of pressure now into Grixer and Surf as Canadian slowly making his way back through Con. That's so unfortunate for Surf to lose his life there into cash. Really weakens the site now for Shopify Rebellion with the last 10 seconds into the round. There is Canadian late and slow on the flank and on the road.
These 3 guns pointed towards the approach here. They know pipes is the story and the answer, but they can't quite get close enough. Handy locks down Surf on the side. They've got to apply pressure somewhere else. There is a body going deep, and Ambi gets one over the top. He's fighting for his life. He's looking for the next, but it's Vidaking and Souls that bring us into the 2 versus 2. Still caught out in it. Grixer's trying to dig his way past the A case on the back end of it, but now it's 2 separate 1 versus 1s. The first one to win is probably going to take the round, but there's only 10 seconds, so the pressure here is on Shopify. They're trying to swing their way round, but 6 seconds here. Vidaking gets a huge swing. That's the kit. That's the drop. That's the sprint for Vidaking.
Ed slips in towards Cash. Can he find another pick as the plant goes down inside a CCTV? No one able to stop Canadian. The kid is on the floor, and we're into a post-plant scenario.
Threading the needle and dancing, dipsing, dodging, diving, and dropping the bodies either side of it, but as they just push their way through, Souls and Handy. And they have the option for the fight, and it's offered to them. He's on a triple, but he's still got to find 2 more. Could it be the first ace that we have at the tournament so far? Dockerby slips off into the night and has the cross cut ready for the swing. 20 seconds, 7 of that has to be on the diffuser itself, and you're trying to find your way across no man's land in a 90-degree fight. There's the first, but it's just offered a sliver. There.
This is where you really do need to make your push. You don't want this to go down to 15, 20 seconds, for example. That's going to benefit Faze. Soul starting to move around, play some off-angle positions. I like that position. Headshot swing onto Ambi, essentially covering 2 positions with 1 spot. Souls has played that perfectly. Does lose his life, though, as Shopify actually find 2 in quick succession, and with that, suddenly the door opens up for them.
They have the ping on the player underneath. They know there's only 2 inside the site, and they're in. Now they can try and get themselves off to the races and get the plant. They're on the bulletproof bed, but the bullets swing right their way across. Grixer immediately gets that response towards Vidaking, but 10 heavy seconds start to tick, and Handy ticks them right both off. Enough to go for the plant. It's traded back and forth on towards Dirt, and Canadian, he's tucked, waiting, technically. A 3 versus 3 because Cyber is in no man's land. There's the attempt on the plant, and an attempt to try and kill somebody that's whiffed and missed, and a post-plant situation with vertical control. Sure, Vidaking has thrown himself in and got themselves locked down. They might even be able to get Cyber back up, which they're going to do right now, so it's a 4 versus 2. But as long as they've got vertical here, as long as they have this position, Faze have to clean it out. They're going to have to send 2 bodies up. Grixer, more than ready for the first engagement. Deep across the bar, serving up pain. Now with 3 versus 2, 20 seconds. Again, 7 of that has to be the defuse, so they've only really got a pocket full to work with. They're playing against
on the
it.
right side,
They're slipped around. There's the take, there's the drop. There's only a little bit left in it now. You've just got to hold it. But it's one that Shopify lock right back in.
It's all about getting it down successfully. Oh, a shot from Vidiking though onto Grixer. Sideswipes his head, and suddenly now Canadian's entry into the site not going to be that easy.
Absolutely massive take. Doesn't get the second though. Look at the health on Canadian. He's a sliver, and they know they got to try and push right now because it's the only time. It's a 2 versus 1. Under and over. There's the cover from the glass. But 14 seconds. A sliver of a pellet will be the end of it. Can they try and get themselves?
They're not sure where
9
he is.
seconds. We are ticking our way once again towards the end. He's got to try and cross the divide. The distance.
He got off the
Why
block.
did you get off the block,
he's back
Canadian?
on it.
Hold back
He's
on.
on-
He's down. No.
What?
Unbelievable, Canadian.
What was that?
What?
No! Now, the attack of Shopify, and they are well prepped to try and take this map out, but Ambi, double headshot out of nowhere, and suddenly changes the course of this round and potentially the map until he's traded by Saber. 2v2 into the final 20 seconds of regulation.
Barely any help on the side of Canadian, and Surf, and Canadian goes down. Surf, he's got to try and get himself past them first. He does. He slipped himself on towards the back end of the dining table, and he's going to hold the plant for now, but with 10 seconds, they're just spraying themselves. Here's a man who holds his composure. Harris Cyber, though.
That's what Canadian needed to do in the last round. Oh, Faze get it done, though. 7-5 for what turned out to be a very entertaining map.
Circling like a snake that coils around Faze's hold on the top floor, but can they find a single breath? It's a bit of emotion, and he doesn't quite get the connection. 2 for Surf, 2 left for Faze.
I wish more teams would put pressure over towards meeting a conside when it comes to command and server. And this is where Shopify found a lot of success in this round. ADS will get one back, but he's by himself now. And even with the second over towards electrical, it's largely irrelevant unless he can go and find the entire ace, the entire team required here for KDS to win this round for Faze. Shopify should be able to kickstart this map with an attacking round win, which would be a very detrimental start for Faze Clan. That is a wonderfully played round from Shopify as they were Faze still just trying to make contact on this first floor, but it is not working out. Faze are playing in a way in which they want these fights, but it's Shopify that are winning them.
Again, Faze, they're holding onto the back end. They're spraying off towards EXO, but there's a Blackbeard that makes a quick Kool-Aid man hello through the wall. The spray over the top on towards Vending. At this point, could this be?
This might be a timeout. This might be a 2-0 timeout.
I mean, it's probably not going to be a win. Vidiking has pulled off some magic before. At this point,
and the reason why I say that is there's not really a third site you're going to go. And Handy's a big influence when it comes to this Faze roster. He was 13-7 back on Clubhouse, a significant player. The Cyber 2 will fall at the hands of Ambi, who has found 2 kills in this round, and Shopify, with still well over a minute remaining, have just picked up the pace. They find a couple of kills. It's now a 4v2. Bit of a knockdown, though, onto Rexen, but Ambi's found a third Surf to finish it all off. And Shopify, out of the tactical timeout for Faze, look even sharper, even cleaner.
They're just going to pop open the Goyo canister as Connector and Electric starts to become a little bit more of a danger point. There gets Surf, one more for his tally, and Vidiking does find one back. The second player on Faze to actually find a kill in the 4th round. But 30 seconds. Look on the distance of the screen. Grixer, he's rotating his way around on towards blue. He's going to try and sneak in the back door as they smash their way towards the mirror window. Ambi tears it, and they just hop their way in. What are you doing? The tornado that blows through the site itself solves a sliver, but not for very long.
Factor, but then by contesting, guess what? Then you lose a player. Now, was this a misthrown onto KDS? I think the answer to that might be a resounding yes. Ambi will lose his life, becomes a 2v2. Vidiking makes his way back up cargo. KDS low on health, losing his life to Rexen, and all down to Vidiking in a 1v2.
And we have seen Vidiking win a 1 versus 2 before, but look at this. The rotate round on towards the back of the site, the focus, they're going for the plant on towards default. Do they know where he is?
Is it the call? Oh, no,
Is the answer. Is he going to pull off the second magic trick in a row? They've planted on a different box. The approach.
Oh, no.
Rexen, you've got to pop your way around potentially. No, he's sticking it. No, he's caught Vidiking. This is a player a little bit further around because he doesn't want to give them the free, easy fight in the body. Two are here, and the Blackbeard is going to be the lead on through. It was almost a moment, but he's caught on the side. There's the pick back up. Will a player go for the drop? The flash electrocutes, but over the shoulder. The shimmy and the shake, and they're rocked right out of place. 10 seconds, though. At this point, they've got to try and find their way through, but Cyber quickly dips back round. You're charging at somebody that is currently stunned. You've got to try and get the knockdown. They're looking for the second fight with a shield.
Oh my God.
It's back and forth, but not quite. Faze, hold on. Towards IT, he's being slowly surrounded. The cover of the smoke, and that gifts him a fight almost against the Blackbeard, though, because anybody else. But look at Vidaking's health. One breath of the smoke canister, he's gone. KDS tears with the Deimos pistol. Souls gets one of his own. There's a bit of an attempt round, but the timer here right now, Soniqs. It's a 4 versus 1. Vidaking, he's going to see if he can try and get this secured. They know exactly where he's going, though, and they'll get that plant locked in on the opposite side. Now being tracked, he does at least get himself a frag, but is it just one of those sort of impactless exit ones? It's a very narrow line to try and drive yourself on. Compliments for Faze there. They took that single breach, the pressure on towards Rafters. They made it work. At this point, you know, through. It's actually the watch that goes against them. Vidaking perfectly predicted the motion of the player there. Not sure if they had intel, but the read was good. The cover, the sensible, the light gadget, get themselves a bit of a route in. Surf is suffering, battered. It's an aggressive fight here on the door that is an important one to win out. The Surf does actually go down. Now, will they try and stop the plant, or will they go for the pickup of the player? The risk! The C4, I mean, it could have been huge, but at that point, you know, they might suffer the same things. It is a little bit more a touch-and-go site that Shopify could have gone anywhere. They've opted to try and hit their tertiary. The break comes all the way through, cuts their way right across. There's one. The second is going to be picked up by the Deimos, and Faze just absolutely clear their way through into the site and say, this thing that you got, oh no, it's ours now. This is Faze's territory.
Surprise hit. They wanted to try and put an end to this as soon as possible. It doesn't work. Credit to Shopify. They were ready for that pace from Faze. They dealt with it seamlessly. This round, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much over. Souls effectively on 1 HP. And Canadian will get himself the easiest kill of this series.
I mean, at that point, you know, when you're just limited to 2 players, your Ash is 1 HP. Again, it's a 1 headshot game. But they also still have all of their hold. They're out on the other side, but at this point, Faze, look at them. All 3 remaining players are laser focused on a single hatch drop. They're sending it.
Wait, does
they
he know?
haven't heard
Does
it. He does know, and he gets it. Canadian swings around, another goon mine for the trouble. All right, send the next one here. Handy and Souls, what do you do? It's a 4 versus 2, less than 40 seconds. They now have a crossfire because the castle is gone as well. The smoke canister, I believe, pops off. They're going to drop in the back of it. Canadian takes a lot of damage swinging it. There's the motion, but there's the cover. They get 1 kill. Now they've got to try and get the rest with 20 seconds left. At this point, the diffuser's still at least close to them. The castle's going to slow them down a bit. They're having to deploy a hard breach charge. Precious time taken away and a bulletproof, giving the read on everything. The impact EMP just to stop it. Give themselves a second.
Nicely done.
Shopify! They're towards the bottom, but the plant is attempting to be secured. They're missing the shots in the smoke. Faze, full faith in the cover, and the man's reloading. The man can't get it, but Ambi does. Souls gets it, but it's a post-plant situation, so Cyber sneaks his way in with Ambi getting Vidaking. It just takes 1 moment, 1 player, 1 drop, and there's some of the vertical, and now they've got the overwatch on towards the kid itself. They're not going to be able to defuse it without getting this player out, and the blue pinch on the other side. It's surrounded. Canadian gets Cyber. There's the rotate round. There's the player back on. There it is. Shopify Rebellion secure it, hold the key and get it locked in, and we are going to a map 3. I mean, they've got the track on the players, they've got the fire popping on the door. They can't push in. That's it, but right now all they're doing is wasting all that utility. It's stacked and ripped and ready to go. Cyber's holding onto the split. They're going for the plant itself. They're going to see if they can try and stop it by spraying through, but the Echo drone is actually the difference maker right now. You can see the slow approach of the Nook is blinded out. Vidaking takes the drop on the top of Rex, and now it makes things a little bit more possible for the plant. Canadian dips his toes in towards the fight on green. They pull themselves back in. They're going to attempt the plant once again, and now the pressure is stepped up right towards the door itself. They're not able to get it. It's a post-plant situation. 7 players still stood. The drop down on towards goal, but it's instantly traded out from the back of the garage on the far side. 36 seconds ticks away, but there's a player all the way on the top floor. Surf. He found himself new ground, new territory. He's going to try and retake and find the fights above, but the Canadian trying to dip himself inside the site as well. Look how little Faze are giving them. They know the approach. They know the positions. He's going to hold for the long arm. He takes the drop. It was questioned before, but now there's the trade out. Surf
No way.
spins in a circle and sends them out of there. Played so masterfully before the blinds. Towards the side of Banana here at the top of the spiral stairs, but it's the control over White that doesn't actually go their way. There's some important cover. There's 2 kills that come through from the side of Shopify, but Faze, they bleed their way in towards the site, and they have a single player behind them. KDS, he's going to stick it. He's going to trust that Handy has the lockdown. Where's the camera? It doesn't connect to the roof, but the smoke canister does get the kill. It's now a 1 versus 2, technically. And get through to getting the player back up. He's downed outside. How aware are they? The shotgun pellets are peppering and putting the pressure on. But Hamby, he wants to play against the kid itself. Handy, he's gone the long way round. He's going to see if he can get it. Are we going to see the second hold? Hold your nerve. Hold that round, Shopify. What am I seeing here, Zeno? They've gone on to White, but they don't know if they've gone up or down. In fact, they've come right back round. They want the engagement. It's not theirs to take. Handy gets one. He said he's back. He's got to be more than back.
He needs his teammates. He needs his teammates. He's the only one doing anything on Bank so far. There will be a timeout after this, I imagine. As we've gone around the world, it'll be 3-0 for Shopify. Faze will need to talk things over because it's another slow start. 3 maps in a row, and that's concerning. You know, 1 or 2 times and you can forgive it, but when it becomes a 3rd map in a row, that's a problem. You know, you got Yokai, you've got 1 Gas Babe, that's about it. And position and numbers with Faze. So it's a pretty even final 30 seconds coming up. Faze, though, with the extra player, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, they have the vertical, they have the watch from deep, they have the position,
that's
and
clean from Handy.
Beautifully taken on the first. They actually just drop into the side at this point. They've realized it's a 4 versus 2. We know where they are. Let's go for the flood while they go for the plant. It is secured. Great play there from Faze, just to Finland sort of they hope that they're able to get him pressed against the wall, but they haven't been so fortunate. So now it's a drive towards Janitor. They're not going to go for that sort of plant play because it's on the other side, but there's a dip round and a rock from Grixer. Now, holding on to the split outside the breach itself. Caught on the side of Spiral, just drifting up into no man's land, and KDS is taking a breather, leaving Souls with 4 players to try and cut his way through, and only 4 seconds. I don't think it's going to be done because it's pretty much literally impossible. Now!
Let it go. Surf over towards Vault. Maybe anticipating that Faze are going to go for a bit of a different angle of attack. They do lose Canadian. That's a big power kill. The Smokes, the Gas Babes, they're off the board. With the final 40 seconds remaining, it does open things up for Shopify.
There's the spray through on towards the drop there, but they're inside the site. They've screamed their way across a 4 versus 3 and entirely taken them a bit by surprise, but back and forth still traded out. Grixer and Rexon both stuck in gold. Wants to swap to the Echo Drone as the plant is being secured. Can it make it in time? It's up. Oh, it gets the threaded needle, finds the drop, and the Echo Drone rotates around towards the bottom of green, but the pressure, the attention from Rexon, the second hit misses. It's a post plant. And now a 3 versus 1. The Echo trying his best to get the lock in here. Couldn't quite stop the second plant attempt and gets locked in. 4 to deal with this smoke. He said it was about 45 seconds, and we hit that mark as soon as the first one popped off. You can see the watch on top of the sort of hatch, but there is a shotgun. Kaid, he's positioned right on the... In fact, not Kaid, it's KDS. Same gun, different man. It's Goyo, ready for the hatch drop to come through. Gets Grixer as Grixer gets Vidaking, but it's Surf. Gets the trade out on towards it, a 2 versus 4. But they're still going to try and long arm those smokes. Canadian has to pull himself out, 15 seconds. He cannot sit and wait for that position to be cleared. They have to try and push themselves deeper in towards the side itself and through himself up towards the watch. There's the drop. There's the play on towards it. And Souls with the rotate gets one. But now, with the attempt on the plant, the security in the cover, that is Shopify Rebellion winning their first attack, getting themselves, or potentially just impacts to get the end of it. The Keeper Barricades can try and build their way back in. And there's the first pop of Smokes, and Ambi's going to use that as his way to thread himself through the head. Looks for the second, can't find it on the long desk, but they're inside the building, inside the site, and tucking themselves close here. Caught out, but it's Surf that has the cover in handy. You're not really sure what's going on, Surf. has to swing himself in. They were trying to go for a bit of a bait and a play, but through it all, it was red. Faze the control on towards Vault Hatch, and the Clash doing this. Exactly what I talked about before,
no.
but oh no! I don't really know if there's a reference
dead.
to...
I mean, your Clash is down.
It's just the C4, the second take, the second time a shield has been taken by their own team and their own players. At this point, the 4 versus 5 towards. The fight is now actually a 4 versus 4 based on how that connects. The confusion potentially.
Well, there's only
on the
one
back of
shield
it.
up now, and that's on the side of Canadian and Shopify. With no Clash, this becomes a far more winnable round for Shopify going into the final 30 seconds. Yes, it's 4v4, but the Clash is a big part of the round for FaZe, and they no longer have it. There's the push through from Rexit towards Garage. They do lose Surf to Handy. Big kill. And suddenly the advantage back over to FaZe.
It's late, 15 seconds, and they're just trying to get some modicum of control here over the side. A lot of damage onto KDS, and Canadian pops one, but KDS and Cyber drive themselves right back in. It is just Canadian in the middle of no man's land. FaZe, they tie us right back up. Control of square, but this, the slow, steady rotate underneath the fight on towards the door. They don't know, but they still win it out. Great motion there from Surf. You could see he wasn't quite sure on the direct location of the player. Now, with the man advantage in a minute 20, they still have to try and find their way into the site. They are blinded out. And there's Ambi shooting a blinder across the back end. Another Candela. Don't need to cook it. It's rolling to where it needs to be. Opening up a little sight line on towards the rotate.
What is that? That's a pixel! Ambi should be asking for a refund. Surely they don't lose the round off of a shot like that. And Surf's going to get brought back up, though, at the very least, to make it still a player advantage for Shopify. And they've got 50 seconds, but Ambi would be ropeable to lose his life in that manner. What can Souls and KDS do? It's another one from KDS. Now down to a 2v2. Old head Canadian on the Montang has clutched up a couple of times in this series. Will need to do so once again.
Currently a 2 versus 1 as the man's going for the plant, but they're not going to put the pressure on. Instead, they use the time to rotate, and there's the reveal of the position and the player. But look at the aggression right up towards the Monty. Now it's
down
a 2
Canadian.
versus 1. Canadian. He knows he's in a tight spot, but he can't make it happen. So the sort of pressure of Surf rather than Canadian at this point. They're going to try and drive the Os.
Canadian has to go in now. Like, this is it. This is the go time, and he finds himself over towards the bomb chassis. Into CEO. Oh, he's shot in the back by Cyber. No. And with that FaZe, have taken away the win condition for Shopify Rebellion. It feels like Ambi's got a lot to do, pushing through Janitor. This young star with a chance to shine at the 6th Invitational. Surf alongside him like Robin to his own Batman. Into the flames he goes, but up in flames may go Shopify. If he can't close it out on the diffuser, he goes to stick it. Finishing with 2, then 3. And just like that, it's all down to Ambi in a 1 versus 4. Shut down by Souls. FaZe will take down Shopify Rebellion.
The difference was a single step. When Ossa is deploying like that, her elbows are out so wide. And that slug shotgun, the TCSG, is an absolute surgeon's tool. That got rid of Canadian. If he was a step further back, it could be different. But we don't talk about ifs, we don't talk about buts, we don't talk about what could happen. What has happened is FaZe, a meteoric return, a meteoric play back in, and they are able to take a win. But by God, did they have to fight for it?
Oh, let me breathe. Dissect and have a look at things. This is the kind of game, though, I'd love if it was on, like, say, Stream A and we had an analyst desk and they could all break it down, because this is certainly befitting of it. I feel awful for Shopify, but they probably won't walk away from this too upset. I think that's definitely got to be their mentality. They played some great Siege. They deserved the map that they got. Unfortunately, they don't get the series win, but they did enough, Emmy.
Well, we're throwing to a quick break before we're back with a breakdown of that absolute blinder of a series.